What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of Couples Coverage. I'm your host, Nicholas Moriano, and I'm always joined by my beautiful and amazing co-host, Stephanie Abonce. Baby, we are in a completely different spot in our apartment. What's going on?
Yeah, this is going to be a very different, I don't know, not style, but for sure different setting. We just wanted to do cozy vibes today. I wanted to do cozy vibes today because where we record is in the office, and I've been there all day working, so I was not in the mood to be there. So I suggested a cozy setting just on our couch. Puppy's next to us. I know you can't really see him, but you might be able to hear him at some point.
Yeah, I don't think we took off his collar, so
I know
he might jingle. But you've been in the office all day.
He might jingle.
And, I mean, we just got back, though.
Yeah, we just got back. So, yeah, today's kind of been a recoup / get back into the work mode, back into our routine kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to record.
Yeah, no, we didn't record obviously last week. We went to Sedona, Arizona for a little getaway, kind of birthday celebration for myself, but the Bears were on their bye week, so it gave us a chance to just hang out and not have to worry about work for a little bit. So it was really cool. It was really nice.
Yeah, so we didn't record. Our last episode was our Thanksgiving episode. So that kind of feels like a little bit ago now, because now we're in fully December, holiday spirit. But hopefully everyone had a good and fun Thanksgiving. But that kind of feels like funny talking about now because it feels like so long ago at this point.
Yeah, and you have the rundown. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I don't know if we wanted to mention quickly for the family that listens, we had a really fun time at that party, your aunt's party.
Oh, 50th
50th birthday. Really fun. If you want to give her a little shout out. Yeah,
my tia Rocio, happy 50th birthday. But I kind of messed up though.
Messed up what?
The dance. Remember? What's the dance called that I'm supposed to the dance?
Oh yeah.
What's it called?
El caballo dorado.
Yes. We learned it though. We practiced it in this very apartment, actually right here where we're recording.
I knew it. You didn't know this dance, so you were trying to
What do you mean I didn't know this dance?
You didn't know this dance. You wanted to learn it because I was showing it to you because I'm like, if you go to any big Hispanic party, this is the one song you have to know. So
yeah, we learned it though. So
no, I knew it already. We were just practicing it.
I know, but when it came on, even though we had it's been a while since we practiced it. When it came on, the lights turned on. And then my steps were in sync until they weren't. Until you get that song sped up, and then you're like, I don't know. It's for every man for himself, or every woman for themselves, because that stuff's tough when it gets.
That's kind of funny.
When it gets going.
I was just cracking up because I don't know if we had a long night the night before, but we were thinking, okay, we'll probably go for a little bit, stop by for a little bit.
What did we do?
I can't remember. Wasn't it Thanksgiving? And then we had Friday, we went somewhere, and then this Saturday was a party. So it had been a long weekend already by that point. So Saturday night, we were like, we'll go for a little bit. And then fast forward to us at 2 a.m. to the Caballo Dorado, super drunk.
Yeah, someone had a rough, what was it, Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the second time a Cervantes party has taken me out. So, yeah. That side.
It was a fun time, though.
It was very, very fun time. And it's always nice to see that family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're fun group of people. But it took me out. And honestly, that was the longest I've ever been taken out.
That was a rough hangover. It was a tough one. But that's what happens when you party with, members of my family. They just...
The
when
tequila
the alcohol
shots start rolling,
pouring.
the drinks just keep... Every time we were back to our table, there was just new drinks there.
New drinks. Someone saying, let's go get shots.
The shots. Oh, God. I literally couldn't even think. Even just saying shots was giving me goosebumps. Sent goosebumps all over my body. I was gagging just thinking about it the next day. I had so much fun in the moment, obviously. The next day, I was out. I was probably on the couch all day.
You definitely were. Yeah. It was a rough, but we all have those.
I know this just never happened though, so it's just kind of a sign that we're getting older.
You say
Hold
we're.
on. Speaking of getting older, we're filming on your birthday.
I know. 29.
29 today.
Last year of the 20s.
Yeah. How do you feel? So now we're going to be able to look back on this episode, and this day you turned 29.
Yeah, I feel no different. They say 30's the new 20. Or that's how I'm going to look at it.
Who says that?
I do, because 20, it's just a number. That's how I kind of really approach it now. But yeah, 29, and that's why we went to Sedona.
Yeah.
To kind of celebrate, but yes.
Yeah, so today was a pretty chill day, which I know I've told you that I felt bad all day because we didn't really do much today, because the point in going, on our little trip was to celebrate your birthday, get away for a little bit, unplug. And today was just...
Yeah, it was get back into the routine of things. I went to the gym. Actually, the hoodie I'm wearing was a birthday gift from Bears Fit. So shout out to you, Brendan, for giving me this hoodie. But yeah, so it was kind of get back into the swing of things. Went to work and got to go see my family for a little bit. Go eat some food. Have a little brownie cake that love my mom's brownies, and we actually have some over there in the kitchen. So can't wait to have one of those after this podcast. But yeah, just get into the swing of things. But let's get into this episode, babe.
Let's get Yes, hold on. And also, we had every intention of recording in Sedona.
We did.
We took our stuff, the mics, our laptop, camera, lights, everything. And in theory, it sounded good. We went and we're like, we'll figure out one of the days. But then you get there and you just want to make like the most out of your day, and you're out and you're like, okay, when are we really going to fit in like an hour or 2 hours to like record and like edit it, even too, like when would we even do that? And the thing with the area we were in, we realized quickly that it gets dark really early, so it's like the lighting wouldn't have been good at night, so it was just hard.
Yeah, it was tough. We had good intentions. Like we said, we had it all packed up, so we just took it out of the suitcase or my backpack, whatever it was in, and put it in the living room here. And so yeah, but we're recording it now, and that's what matters.
Yes. So I kind of wanted to just like start from day one. Yeah. This is going to be kind of like a little recap of our trip. So day one, we started Friday in Phoenix, and we had one day. I forget what time we got in.
It would have been like around 9 a.m. because that's when the car reservation was at. 9
a.m. And then our check-in to our Airbnb in Sedona wasn't until 3. So we figured we'd probably, hang out in Phoenix for a little bit and walk around and explore before we made our way over to Sedona. So we rented a car, and that's kind of where I want to start this story, because I don't know what it is with you and rented cars, but I think now I'm always on edge, and I'm usually not on edge.
With me and rented cars? Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Why do you think that is?
No, you tell our listeners. Why are you on edge?
So, okay. Actually, funny story. I don't know if we told this story in our Hawaii, when we talked about our Hawaii trip, but when we went to Hawaii, we were able to rent a car. Did we share the story?
I have no idea.
I don't think we did. But we rented a car, and it was this red convertible that we didn't know we were going to get, because you kind of like reserve a car, but then you get there and then they give you what they have, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it works. So we didn't know what we were going to get. So we thought it was so cool. And when he pulled out, I couldn't believe that, like, how it just worked out so perfectly, this cool convertible in Hawaii. We were taking a video of it. And I think like the next day we were about to start a hike. We were so excited. And we looked on the side of the car, and it had a bunch of scratches. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to figure out, like, when did that happen? I don't remember hearing anything, but it must have happened on those roads. Like, if you know Hawaii, it's kind of like bumpy, and sometimes you have to take, like, I don't know, roads that aren't the smoothest. So we figured something happened, and we just didn't know it had happened. And luckily, because we were so excited we got this car, I remember filming it, and we were able to see that those scratches were already on there.
So wait, okay.
So hold on.
That's the first one, which nothing happened.
Nothing happened, but we didn't realize, like, we didn't figure it out that it wasn't us until later that day. So all day that like during our hike, we're like, oh, like, dang, that really sucks. Like when that happened, we're going to pay for this. So I think just the feeling of that kind of sucks that this happened while we're on a trip trying to enjoy ourselves, that stuck with me. Even though, yes, nothing happened. It wasn't you.
It wasn't my fault.
Okay, it wasn't you. This time we were in Phoenix. We didn't even have the car for what? More than
45 minutes.
40 minutes, not even an hour. And we're in the garage.
It's a parking garage, yeah. And
it's a parking.
There's like it's not really that tight of a turn. I just didn't, not used to the car yet, so not used to like looking out all the mirrors and like knowing exactly how big this car is. And it was a Dodge, or it was a Dodge something. But we're in the parking garage. I get through the gate, and then I started to make a right, and then
you hear
something.
Well, at first I was like, I didn't say anything because I'm like, there's no way he doesn't see this right next to us. There's no way he's gonna take this turn like this.
It's a sharp.
And then I'm like, wait. And the next thing I know is like, boom.
No, it's not boom. You just hear like something
like the
scraping.
Crunchy,
Not a crunch. It's like a scraping, and I'm like, oh crap. But I did get like the extra insurance. So I'm like, all right, it's gonna be covered. But when we park and we start inspecting the car, there's nothing on it. So it was the wheel going up against like the cement gravel for the perimeter for the, just the drive there.
Yeah.
The drive through, I guess. So I don't know why you need to feel cautious or, a little hesitant with me driving these rental cars when nothing's happened.
I know, but there's been 2 scares. So obviously I'm going to be more nervous. And they're not like our cars, so I'm always more on edge. Like we gotta make sure we're okay in this car. And you're right though, because when you're driving a car that's not yours, I feel like you do tend to overthink it. You don't know how sensitive it is. You don't know how.
Yeah, you gotta test
like
all
the cameras.
That stuff.
I drove his car that has a camera, and that actually doesn't help me. Cameras confuse me more because I'm so used to just depending on my mirrors. My car is like an older car, so it doesn't have that technology yet. So when I do get it, I'm like, I have no idea. I'm sure I would get used to it, but because I'm not used to it right now, the one time you had me back out, I like crashed into some bushes, remember?
Yes, you crashed into I forgot the lady's names. Or bushes.
Someone's bushes, but I was like...
Yes, we're getting off track, though. Okay, the car still got you to Sedona perfectly fine. Just going to say that. Don't say anything about the 2-hour drive. But, yes, that's where it started. What else were you going to say about the car, though?
Nothing. I wasn't going to say anything about the car anymore. Okay. Well, I was just... Yeah. I think during the trip after that, I was like, be careful, be careful. Oh, that's why. Because you blamed it on me afterwards.
Oh, well, I'm like, why didn't you tell me anything? Why would you told me after the fact?
I told you after the fact because I said there's no way you were going to hit it. I'm like, there's no way. Then you say, don't assume. So then every time we were driving, I was like, be careful, be careful. You're like, I got it. I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Either assume that you don't see it. See?
True. Okay. But we explored a little bit of Phoenix while we were there. We were able to go downtown Phoenix. And I had actually been there technically earlier this year for the Super Bowl. So we were kind of going to some spots. I was like, oh, I was there. This is where we did this. This is where we did that. But it was like really brief. Just kind of make some time go by before we can check into our Airbnb at, I think, 3 p.m. So we were just kind of exploring a little bit and kind of hanging out in downtown Phoenix.
That's cute. One thing about Nick is that he loves walking me through his routine.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is where we did this for the Super Bowl. This is where we would go every single day. That's where our PHNX office is. This is where, I saw so-and-so.
You know that story I told you about the scooter? That's where that happened. That's where that
happened. Yeah. I couldn't operate one of those little motorized scooters that you can rent out. I don't know why. I just didn't work, but I did that there. So I told you about my whole entire
We used to go to Chicago, and he used to, this is the route I would take to get to DePaul, and this is where I wait for the train. I'm like, great.
Maybe I should blog about it.
No, it's cute. I actually like hearing about it. But yeah, so then we stopped for breakfast. You know what? The one thing I'm going to say about Phoenix, or just Arizona as a whole right off the bat, is that their food, they don't play about their food.
That was some of the best food that, like, on an entire trip, like, I'd put it up against any of our trips that we've had in terms of the quality of food at every single spot that we went to. Phenomenal. Phenomenal food. I do say that a lot when it comes to food, but it was so good.
Yeah, it was
and
really
it
good.
started with that like coffee breakfast.
If you're ever in Phoenix, actually I think someone recommended this to us, so if you recommended this, thank you so much. It was called Otro Cafe. So good. It was the cutest little
that was your
cafe.
vibe.
Yeah, the plants everywhere, the service was so good, the food was so good. I had the best vegan burrito that I've ever had in my life, and I had you try it, and you also thought it was really good.
That was a really good vegan burrito.
Yeah, that's all I want. That's all I want in my vegan burritos, is for them to be like that. Like, they taste so legit and they're so good, and I feel so included.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would order that.
Yeah,
it was that good. But I just got the regular breakfast burrito, and that smacked.
Yeah,
like it was a good size. It had, I mean, just all the natural ingredients. It was such a good way to start. And we're like, okay, this like set the bar really high for food.
Yeah.
And then every other spot that we went to, because that was our one spot that we ate in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Then we explored downtown, and then we drove to Sedona. And then we had a lot more good food down there.
Yeah. And I don't know how much, like, it's kind of sucks to be talking about the food. You can't see it or smell it or taste it. So it's just like, you just got to take our word for it.
You just got to be there.
Sedona, or Arizona, all the food was amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so then we eventually made our way back to Sedona, and what did we do? We just checked in. And we're like, okay, what do we want to do for our first day? First days and last days are always strange, because you're kind of like, your schedule is around whatever, like, check-in time in, or like check-out time in, or check-out time is. So it's always kind of tricky. But we checked in, and we decided to go to the mall, or that little village. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Tlaquepaque?
I'm not even going to try pronouncing it. Yeah. But I mean, that
Tlaquepaque Village, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if it's wrong, but I had seen some pictures and stuff, and I also think that was something that was recommended. I know, I think so, you had me. I was like scrolling through some of the stuff.
I asked Twitter, and like a bunch of people responded, and a lot of great suggestions. Yeah. And of course, we couldn't get to all of them, but that definitely was one of them. But it's like a small, not even actually that small. There's like two sections of it, but it's got like this Hispanic heritage culture and a bunch of different shops. And
or is it artisanal? I don't
know. Very artsy. It's just very artsy over there.
It's an
too.
arts village. Yeah. So everything is like handcrafted.
Yeah, there you go.
It had like all the Christmas vibes that you could want, like the lights everywhere. And it just so happened to be like colder while we were there, which was perfectly fine. We did think we were going to go somewhere warm, and it wasn't that warm. But
it's warm now.
It's warm now. But the days that we went, it was actually pretty cold, but it just added to the Christmas like spirit, and it was just very, very cute to be there. And like literally all the shops there, you just get lost like looking at all the stuff.
It's like mom and pop kind of, like small local things that you're only gonna find like in this like 2-section like village kind of place. But a lot of people were there. A lot of people were just exploring like us and just kind of looking through these shops. And we bought like 2 things maybe, if that. But it was like, it's just cool to like see all the different things that they have to offer there. And like there's a bunch of art galleries. There was a bunch of like stones and crystals. There's a toy shop.
That's the one thing about Arizona that we had heard about, was that it's very spiritual.
Hipster kind of too.
Yeah, but once you're there, we quickly started to see things happen that were coincidences. And I don't know if you like, I don't know. I feel like you're always very like,
I'm not as like
you don't
you're
believe it
very
as much.
into. Yeah, you're very.
I love
into
it. I love whenever I see or whenever something happens that you wouldn't really expect, or it's like, what are the chances that this would happen right now? I love that. And I think I've told you when we were over there, I've always believed that when coincidences like that happen, it just means that you're where you're supposed to be. So I always take it as signs. But we did walk into this bookstore. Do you want to share a story?
Yeah, it was a bookstore, and like there's in this place there's like 2 levels. Like there's obviously everything on the bottom, but on the top there's this bookstore. So we go in. It's not that big of a bookstore, but we're kind of navigating through, looking at some of the books on the shelves, and they have a wide variety of different genres and things like that. But then we go into like the back left corner, and I don't know, you're just looking at one bookcase or whatever, and then I look to my left and see the name of
the
one
thing
book.
is, you didn't even like, you weren't reading anything.
Didn't read
it was literally just the
I just
one
kind
you
of
grabbed.
looked at it, and I can't. When
Elephants Weep.
When Elephants Weep, I'm like, hey, here's this book, and then you turn around like you're shocked, like I'm like, what? And then you take it from here.
It's just a book that I have that's a very random book that I got from a bookstore in Evanston not that long ago. But I remember like always holding on to this book, and I'm not even going to lie, I haven't read it. But this book, I just remember seeing it so much just like in my room because it was always set somewhere. So I used to always see it in my little book collection. So I just thought it was so random and crazy that it's the one book out of this whole bookstore that you happen to grab.
Yeah, When Elephants Weep, and then that's where you're kind of talking about like that's so crazy, and like the energy here, like you're here, you know, where you're supposed to be and things like that.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something to it.
I think there is, because as we were walking around, you started to hear a bunch of like it sounded like a band, which it was, but we're like, oh, let's go check out what's happening over there. And we went across the street, and we just so happened to walk up to a Christmas a tree lighting ceremony.
Yeah.
Which was so cute. It was literally the cherry on top. I couldn't stop saying how happy I was.
Yeah, it was really like, I don't know, it just felt genuine, felt like just felt real in a way, like seeing these kids' faces light up and all these people like gathering around the Christmas tree waiting for it to light up for the first time. And that was the first day of December when we were there, so it was just very peaceful and calming.
So peaceful because it wasn't that many people, but it was still so beautiful. Like such a like pretty tree. There were so many cute kids, like the kids who were like on their parents' like shoulders,
had the cool hats,
had like the cutest winter hats ever. I'm like, why do all these kids have like the most adorable hats ever? So many dogs and their little sweaters and stuff.
Grandma's taking pictures of the Grinch, and they
oh yeah, there was a Grinch there.
And this one lady's like trying to take a picture of the Grinch, and you know, it's kind of, they're trying to get like the perfect shot, zoomed. Yeah, they're trying to zoom up, and was it a good picture, or was it just like a funny? It was a funny, good look picture of the. I don't even know.
Yeah, no, she was trying to like get a picture, but the ones she took were like super zoomed in as he was dancing, and it was like the most like that would go viral on Twitter type of picture.
Yeah.
And we were like, she probably thinks like, oh, I got a bad picture, but I'm like, that's gold right there. Hope she keeps that.
But yeah, it was a cool little event that they had there, and it was, again, we so happened to be a part of it.
Just literally, because while we were there, it happened within 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
We weren't there for long. We just happened to be there at the right time. So that was kind of the start of all these little coincidences that happened, but we'll get into that. I think the next thing that happened that day, which is kind of funny. So outside of our Airbnb, we had a bunch of trails, and we had like a really nice view every morning, which I was so thankful for. But the one thing I really wanted to do was go stargazing. I'm already laughing.
Now, are you talking about the first stargazing or the second one?
Well, we're going to talk about the second one, but the first one, okay. So we didn't want to go very far because, as I said, Sedona is, I think, known as like I forget what exactly it's called, but it's like a like minimal light community type of thing.
It gets dark, like
Dark.
super, super dark there. Like, again, when you're going through the city, there's minimal street lights.
Yeah, minimal street lights.
And I feel like most of the residential areas, and there's not even that much where we're kind of driving through, lights are off, but there's not a lot of light, and it gets dark quick, and it gets, like I said, really, really dark. So we wanted to go stargazing.
Yeah, we wanted to go stargazing, so we literally just took the car across the street to where the trails were. We parked.
Literally across the street.
We shut the car off, and we're like, okay, this is actually kind of scary, because we thought about, I guess the way that I pictured it was like, we get out of the car, we'll maybe sit in the trunk or something, we'll have like blankets, we'll look up at the stars, and there was no way we were getting out of the car.
No, it was just so damn dark out there. And look, I'm somebody where I don't know this environment. I don't know the people here. I don't know anything. But that was the initial plan. And then there was another group of people that like showed up, and then they get out of their car and they go into like the trail. They have like light, headlamps and things like that, and they go in. I'm like, we just weren't going to do that. We rolled down our windows and we're looking up, and you downloaded some stargazing app, and we were pointing it up at the sky to see the different constellations
yeah.
and things like that. So, that was cool, but
that was cool.
The idea of standing out there and not knowing, we hadn't looked up really yet what animals are out here and things like that. So, yeah, it just didn't happen night one. And then it didn't also happen night two.
Hold on, we'll get into that. But we did. So we couldn't even stick our head out the window that much, because I don't know if it's just like, dark thoughts start to come in, and I'm like, who's going to come out of these freaking woods, chop my head off or something?
I definitely wasn't thinking that.
I was thinking that when I was trying to look up. Also, we don't get stars like that here. So as beautiful as it was, even just seeing the stars like that freaked me out a little bit.
Really?
Because I've never seen space like that. And maybe, I don't know, I had no idea stars actually twinkle. I thought that was just like little twinkle, twinkle, little star song.
Isn't that like the lullaby song? Twinkle, twinkle,
yeah,
little star?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought, I didn't know that they actually twinkled.
Well, those stars were twinkling, and there was a bunch of them everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was actually really cool to see all that.
It was really cool. But like I said, we stayed in the car. It was probably like 5 or 10 minutes before we were too scared. We left. And then, like I said, this is right across the street. So as we went back to our Airbnb and parked the car and we're going to get inside, you start to hear all the coyotes. Mm-hmm. And we're like, how do people just go in there like that?
Yeah, coyotes are more scared of us. They're like tiny.
But still. No?
I'm more afraid of like the mountain lions.
It was cool though to hear them, because then that night, I know you knocked out, but I could hear the coyotes outside of our building all night, which is pretty cool actually.
Well, we heard them right before we went into our Airbnb.
Yeah.
And then like you said, or I guess you apparently heard them when I was probably snoring away, but they were out there howling, doing their thing.
Yeah, it was really cool. Okay, so day two, woke up early and made our way to Devil's Bridge. That
was really cool.
So cool. Okay, that morning was so cold though.
It was a cold morning, and I think we were talking about it. Would we rather have had it been like warm or the weather that we had? I felt like it just fit with all the Christmassy atmosphere, but it was a cold morning, and we had to like hike through the mountainous trail to lead up to this bridge called Devil's Bridge, like you were saying, and I forgot how many miles that was. Like I had it tracked. I think it was around like 5 or 6 total.
Okay.
When I was tracking it there and back, but
I also think it depends on which path you take.
But we took the scenic route the first time to kind of explore, see everything, take some pictures along the way. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
You don't realize how high you're going either until your ears are starting to pop. And like I was having so much trouble breathing. I'm like, damn, we're up here. Like we're really up here, because the elevation really does it was starting to affect me a little bit. But it was still, I mean, it was worth it. It was so cool. I know, just, being in line and waiting for your turn, it looks a lot scarier than it actually is. And then actually walking the bridge and stuff, maybe we can insert some footage of that because I have the video of it. But yeah, doing it was really, really cool. It's not as scary as it looks if you ever do it.
Yeah, so and what you're describing too, for the people that are just listening to this, and if you're watching on YouTube, we'll definitely put some images and videos of it. But it's basically a natural bridge, but it obviously doesn't lead. It does have an ending to it, but it's like these rock formations that just come together, and you have to hike to it. And then once you get there, everyone's like waiting in line to go take their picture on the bridge. But the pictures are being taken from like the opposite angle of where the bridge is at. So everyone's kind of working together to take pictures and, just to get the different poses. And people were like, don't go too far out into the bridge and like just do the bare minimum. And, when people start doing anything other than like stand there, take the picture, people are like, oh, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
so
but see, that's what I mean. It looks
fun.
Scarier from the side where you're waiting, for sure, because I feel like I could have probably walked to the edge and not really have been scared.
Yeah. It's like, it's pretty wide.
Yeah, it's pretty wide. But
so it was cool though, just to see, everyone like kind of doing their own little thing out there, posing and seeing
how nice everyone is.
Yeah, everyone's super nice, and like different age groups of people. Like you saw older couples, you saw younger, you saw people come up with their dogs, and there's some parts of this hike where you have to kind of not get on all fours, but you have to like maneuver your way up, put your leg up on one ledge, and then use your other arm and kind of, bit by bit get up this trail. And obviously there are flat parts and things like that, but you have to work to get up there. But I think it's all worth it in the end. Yeah,
it's all worth it. And like we were talking about how you just mentioned older people, older couples, and I think it's just so cool to see. And I think when you grow up in places like that, like as you get older, I don't know, maybe it helps you get to that age and still be able to do that, because you probably grow up, doing all that type of stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I want to be that couple.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That seeing age is just a number.
It is.
Like I said earlier. Age is just a number. You can.
Then how come you get mad when I say you're 30?
Because I'm not 30.
Almost 30.
No, you always say 30. I'm 29.
Okay, fine. Today. Okay, so was that what did we do after that? Oh, then after that we went to go have breakfast. People recommended Coffee Pot.
Yes, Coffee Pot.
Really good.
They have 101 omelets.
I have no idea.
I think it was 101 omelets, and I had number 28.
And I had...
I don't remember.
See if I remember. 43, I think? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I know I had 28.
Oh, so this was the day that we did the hike that morning. We went to go have breakfast, and then we kind of went back and kind of tried to record. Didn't really work out because we were short on time, because we had a reservation to go celebrate your birthday.
Yes, and I don't remember the place that we went to.
It's called The Vault.
The Vault, that's right, because it looked like a vault.
It looked like a vault.
But it was a really nice restaurant that, again, your view is the mountains, and we got a nice booth, and again,
amazing food.
Phenomenal food. Phenomenal food. What did I get? The like glazed salmon with mashed potatoes. There was one asparagus. There was literally one asparagus.
You had all the mini zucchinis.
Zucchinis, yeah. And then some vegetable. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before.
It was like a yellow. It was yellow. I don't know how to describe it.
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what category that's in.
I would have to look at the menu and then see what it was, but delicious. And then you also had salmon.
I did have like a salmon salad. Yeah, also really, really good. Good drinks, good views.
Mm-hmm. Good vibes.
Good vibes. It was so cool to be up there.
There's a dog in there.
There was
too.
a little dog that we couldn't stop staring at because he was a little service dog, but he just kept making eye contact with us.
Yeah, we kept looking at him.
I'm like, you're doing great, buddy.
He's just underneath the chair.
Yeah.
Cute. After that dinner, though, we went to go watch the Iowa game.
Yeah, Nick
for a
forced me
little
to go watch the Iowa.
Remember, it was my birthday trip.
I know.
So-
That's why I was there having a great time watching
And you
the
got
Iowa
your
game.
Prickly
Woo.
pear.
Prickly pear margarita.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
kind of tasted like
Regular margarita.
any margarita.
It was like pink margarita, basically.
Yeah, but we ended up going to a bar that had like a Bears sign in the Iowa game. It was just meant to be. And
See? That's another thing.
And then the Iowa Hawkeyes got their butts kicked. But that's all right. We went there, and then after that, we
Got some ice cream.
got some ice cream. Yeah.
And then take two. We're like, okay, this time let's go to a place that has really good reviews. I was looking online trying to read. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it had a lot of reviews. And I was like, let's go stargazing again. But this time I would feel better if there was more people, more cars, or all doing it. Everyone's there for that reason. And this one that I looked up was basically just an open, what would you call it? An open land where you just go for that purpose.
Yeah, and to get there, well, you have to kind of drive through, parts that we had been to before through Sedona, but then you have to also, it's like a little off terrain,
and at this point, everything had been fairly close to us, and this one was like, okay, this is like 20 minutes away.
Again, not that far,
Not
but
that far, but
the part that got me is like right when you enter in, there's a huge bump. I'm like, oh boy. Like the car that we got, like this Dodge, is like, it ain't meant to be off-roading and stuff. And, you just want to be careful of the rental car. So go over this. And then I'm like, okay. And you're kind of going in, and you're looking at the GPS. It's a little bit of a way. And it's off-road, there's bumps, there's divots, there's all this stuff, and it's dark, too. I have the high beams on, and there's actually a car that's in front of us, too, that's kind of making its way, but there are some parts where it's like, ooh, and I was like, the whole time, like, where are you taking us?
And the whole time I was sitting there quiet, like, oh. Every bump, I'm like, oh.
You go a little bit to the left, I'm like, I can see it, so I'm already a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
A little bit stressed, a little bit like aggravated a little bit.
Aggravated. And then I'm like, okay, well, if you don't want to do it, if you're not comfortable doing it, we can turn around. But the thing is it's like kind of like a one-way street. So like, how could you even really turn on that road?
You have to make it all the way to the end
to turn.
So that's why I didn't do it.
I was like, oh.
So we make our way as we're kind of divoting and doing all this stuff, and we get there. Dark as shit.
I was like, this is fun, right? You're having fun, my favorite.
It is so dark. We are isolated, and there's only one other car here.
Because at this point, we're deep in there.
We are deep in the woods, deep in the mountains,
deep in there.
Like the hills have eyes. Like, I don't know if you've seen that scary movie. I was thinking about that too.
I went to go see the movie. I walked out in the first 5 minutes.
Because you were scared?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No, I was kind of I didn't tell you that at the time, but I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. No, you didn't have to tell me anything. I already felt the energy. I'm like, this is a no. this is a big no.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
From you. But I was like, this is fine. Like, you know what? So I was thinking, there's going to be more cars. No, there was literally only one other car. And I don't know if they were tourists or not, but when we both parked our cars, you can see us looking at them and them looking at us. And we're like, I don't know if they would feel more comfortable with us leaving or being here. I don't know how I would feel. Because part of me is like, are you going to like kill us or are you also here to like stargaze?
I don't know. I would have felt more concerned.
If they left?
No, if they were there. I didn't like that.
You didn't like that they were there?
I didn't like them being there, and I didn't like if they were not there. I didn't like being there in general. Like having people there, not having people there. I was thinking like the wilderness in general too. I stepped out of the car like for us, and I was like right by the door, and I stayed there, and then you stepped down. Would you? Yes. Did you just hit yourself in the mic?
I hit myself in the eye. Okay, so we try to step out, and literally, guys, it's hard to explain how dark it actually gets there because my eyes are like this, trying to like adjust, and I can't see anything. But we get out, and I'm like, "Where are you?" And you're like, "I'm right by my door. You better stay by your door."
Again, I did not trust. We were deep in the woods. I'm like, mountain lion, bear, killer people. I don't know anything.
I was like, look at the stars. But look how nice the stars look.
I could not care about the stars any less in that moment. So I'm like, all right, we're going. And so we get back in the car. I'm sure that couple's like, thank God they left, or whatever, like we were out of the picture.
They were probably so sketched out by us because it's like we were following them the whole time.
Yeah,
we get there and don't stay very long and leave right away. I
was gonna like try to say something like, hey, we're here to stargaze, but I don't know, like it's so dark, like it just didn't work out. So we end up going back, and
and it was a quiet ride home.
I don't know. You have to go through this whole terrain again. What?
No.
But yeah, so stargazing did not work.
Okay, but now it's a funny story.
Now it's a funny story.
Now it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I wish I just wanted to see one shooting star. That's all I wanted, and it didn't happen this trip. So maybe one day someone out there could recommend or tell us what time is good, because maybe people just don't go out that late. Because at that point it was like 10, 11.
No.
9?
Yeah, we didn't stay out that late. It wasn't.
How long was the game?
We didn't watch the whole game.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the game.
I know.
Oh, okay. So maybe like 10 at latest.
Yeah, maybe it was like 9 o'clock because game started at 6, left at halftime, got ice cream. Probably like 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, I still want to stargaze one day, have a good experience with it, and I don't want to be scared.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That sounds nice. Not stargazing without being terrified of the darkness and everything that could be in the darkness. That sounds great.
Oh, gosh.
But that was day 2.
That was day 2.
And actually, before we get to day 3, as you kind of set things up, I have to go get something that we have to talk about real quick.
Uh-oh. So I got to entertain the people.
Yep. Let's get this back on track here. We actually came back from Sedona. Actually, it wasn't here. Actually, no, it would be today. Got a huge shipment from Owen, and I'm just going to open it up. Kind of a live unboxing on the podcast here, but we have one of the best flavors that they have to offer here. It's the No Nut Buttercup, and you can get a large shipment like this yourself if you check out liveowen.com. And if you do, you can get 100% plant-based protein shakes with 0 net carbs, non-GMO, 100% gluten-free, 100% vegan, and no dairy, soy, wheat, gluten. Don't need all that. It's only what you need in here. And you can actually use the code CC15 at checkout. Save 15% off your first order. So you stock up, get a bunch of different flavors like No Nut Buttercup. Dark chocolate's also really good. You have some other flavors that you are going to definitely enjoy. Sea Salty Caramel. That's my other one that I'm thinking of right now. But if you want something that's not a pre-made shake like this one right here and the rest of them that are in this box, you can also get the powders, and they have caffeinated drinks as well. They have a lot to offer, but go to liveowen.com and use the code CC15 at checkout to save 15% off your first order.
Thanks, Owen.
Boom.
All right, day 3.
Day 3.
Day 3.
What happened on day 3? That was literally just yesterday.
That was yesterday. All these days are mixing together. Day 3, we woke up early, went for a little walk. We had to be out of our Airbnb by 11, so it wasn't too long of a hike because we had to get back, shower, pack the car basically. So we did that, and then we found a park called Peace Park, but there's another part to it. But basically, it had a lot to learn. There was a lot of like not rituals. Is it rituals?
Spiritual kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like there statues of Buddhas. Gosh, I don't know what the thing was, but we spun it and we walked clockwise around like these cylinders that had symbols on them, and then it was supposed to bring like good energy, if I'm not mistaken. But it was just like a very spiritual place with different stops that you can go at to look at the different whether it was statues or I don't know. There's just a bunch of things kind of going on there, but it was very spiritual. I guess.
Yeah, a lot to read too, which is cool.
Kind of learn
about.
And then you there was like a book that you left a prayer in too.
Oh yeah, there was a book where you can that was really nice.
Yeah.
That one we weren't prepared to do like another hike there, because at that point we were showered and we're like, oh okay, this is gonna be kind of tough too, I guess.
We had to go back in our suitcases, get our like hiking shoes that we used, and kind of because we didn't think it was gonna be on the red soil and stuff like that. It was, and of course it was, so we had to quickly change. But again, we just had to not waste time, but just we had to utilize our time. So that was a cool like place to just kind of stop by for a little bit. Yeah,
because at that point we kind of had knocked out or had done a lot of the stuff that we had wanted to do, and at that point it was like, okay, let's see what else is around. Yeah. So we didn't stay there for too long, but then we drove up to Old Town in Cottonwood, and that was another strip where it was lots of little stores.
Are we forgetting about the best tacos that we ever had? That was before we went to Cottonwood.
Was it?
Yeah. We didn't go back to eat tacos before Cottonwood.
You're right.
We had some fire-ass tacos. Like, these things were... what was the place called?
Tortas de Fuego.
Oof. Fuego was right when it came to those tacos that we had. But shout out to them. I think legit, those are like top 5 tacos. Or top 3 for me.
Top 3 for you. I think they're top 2 for me. Yeah. But I can't tell you what other place is above them. I just know they were like up there.
That good, yeah.
So good. If you ever have a chance to go, highly, highly, highly recommend Tortas de Fuego. Yep. I don't know if they have other locations, but
they do.
So good. We were talking about those tacos for the rest of the day. Man. I can go for those like right now.
I can always go for tacos.
Yeah.
But Old Town. Yes.
Yeah. So one other thing that happened that was kind of a big coincidence was that it must have been one of our last stores that we walked into, because again, this was kind of like all like a town with just a bunch of handcrafted stuff that came from all over the place, and really unique stores. So one of the shops that we went into towards the very end was like a store that just had a bunch of copper stuff. Everything was made of copper. So like all like the Moscow Mule cups hanging, like pots and pans. They were all like reusable straws. Everything, literally everything was made out of copper.
Pots, pans, everything.
So right before we left, we were walking out and we passed by this table, and I was like shocked to see that we have an item from this place. So we didn't get, I got this from another like local store close to us. I don't know where it comes from exactly, but it's not like it's a pizza cutter, but it's like a pizza cutter that like, when else would you see this? Because it's pretty unique.
It's a unique pizza cutter.
So
struggling.
It's a little bike. So this is how you cut the pizza. So I remember seeing it and I was like, no way, we have that pizza cutter. And the woman that worked there overheard us, obviously. She's like, oh, you have that? I'm like, yeah, and we've never used it. I should probably use it when we get home at some point, because it looks like a fun little pizza cutter to use.
Yeah.
So she was asking us where we were from, and I told her that we were from Chicago, and she asked us again, oh, okay, cool. Like, what part? And so, when they ask that, they know they're either from...
You're not from Chicago.
Yeah, you're not actually
what
from
suburb
Chicago.
Are
what
you
suburb?
From?
And it kind of caught me off guard when she said what part, because I thought she was saying like West Loop, Gold Loop. I'm like, I was going to clarify to her that it was not actually Chicago, but before I could say anything, she was like, because I used to live over there, and I used to live in Arlington Heights, and we're like, no way.
You just moved there like a year ago.
Yeah.
In Arlington Heights. So crazy that we met somebody in Arizona, Arlington Heights.
All because of the little pizza cutter that we have.
When you said like, oh, we have that pizza cutter, I'm like, yeah, we have this, the same bike, but I didn't know it was copper too.
Literally
so
the
it's
same
like,
one.
it's literally the same pizza cutter, which is so unique, and you just don't find this
What if
anywhere
it
else.
says made in Sedona?
Does it say anything?
10,000 villages.
No.
I don't know. Crafted in India.
We both got it from India.
But anyways, still so unique and so random. And yeah, it just goes to show there was like lots of little things that kept happening that I thought were really cool. And after that, we just kind of like made our way back after that.
Yeah, made our way back, and we drove not to the airport, but to Tempe, Arizona, for a very special stop in your heart.
A special stop in my heart.
Yeah.
We had to get donuts.
We had to get donuts.
Some
Voodoo donuts, and we just got a small box. I remember the last time we went to Colorado, we ended up with
way too many.
like 3. I don't even remember.
We literally, we must have had some drinks or something, because we walked like a mile to go get donuts, and instead of getting one, we came back with 2 boxes, and we're like, how did this happen?
I guess you can buy donuts that have been left there for the day, and then you get that box, and it's like super cheap. But we didn't get that many donuts. We each got 2 from Voodoo Donuts.
Yeah.
Took them back to the airport, got through security, all that, and were able to get on our flight and had some nice donuts before we took off. And
we were so like, at this point it was like late, we were kind of like a little bit crabby, it was starting to get hot, and then we get on there, we just start to crack up, because like we opened the donuts and everything was suddenly okay.
Everything was suddenly okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where my outline finishes. I hope that you had fun celebrating, even though I took you through some scary or sketchy moments, but I hope you enjoyed it.
It was a fun time, babe. No, it's always cool getting to explore different areas with you and getting to do different things, have some awesome food along the way, and it just makes us look forward to wherever the next trip is at. So yeah, it was a really good, cool way to spend the birthday weekend.
Good. I'm glad. Your birthday boy.
Birthday man.
Oh, birthday man.
Birthday man.
Okay. All right, birthday man. Do you want to sign us out?
That's going to do it.
That does it for this episode. I think next week we're going to come with a juicy topic. Actually, you inspired the next one when we were having breakfast in Phoenix.
Yes, maybe we'll save that for next week. So there are some juicy topics along the way, but that's going to do it for episode 17. I did not say this at the top of the show, but make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You can also subscribe to us on, did I already say YouTube? I don't even remember if I said it just now. We're on also on your favorite social media. If you love Instagram, if you love the TikTok, we're on there. So make sure you follow us there for clips of the show. But yeah, tell a friend. It's only going to help us grow here at Couples Coverage, and we'll probably be back on our normal set for episode 18. But we'll see you next time. Adios.
Bye.